Hey everybody, Dux here, and we'll be talking about the Enhanced Shaman. This is the second version, and it's for level 110, just in case you're wondering about the numbers and all that stuff. Now that I've actually tried and actually all these talents work for this class, so I can actually give you a better idea of where to go now that we've seen it. So, our first, actually let me change the color, because I always forget. Little Shaman blue. Right, and we're going this route. And we're going to go and pick up Gathering of the Maelstrom, which is 3 ranks. Rock Biter generates an additional 3 Maelstrom, which, again, if you don't know, well, the way that Enhanced Shaman works now is they don't have mana anymore, they have Maelstrom, and they have to generate that. It's kind of like Rage concept, where you have to hit stuff to gain Rage. Well, same thing with Shaman, but they have to gain Maelstrom. So, now, after this, I'm going this route here, and I'm going to go and pick up this bad boy right here, which is called Spiritual Healing. That was one of the big weaknesses for for a Shaman, is their heal just was not healing enough in my mind. Now with this, it's going to at least buff it by 30%, which is huge. And if you get extra ranks, I mean, it's 50, it was 10%. Okay, they nerfed this one actually. It was 15% I think before. Now it's 10% per rank, so... But again, still, you could go and make it up to 40% at least, so not a bad go. The next one is basically up to you at that point. It's either if you don't feel still squishy and you want to get more heals, then you can go with this one here. You activate Astral Shift. You will heal yourself for 30% of your maximum health, and Astral Shift is a 1.5 minute cooldown, and it shifts partially into the elemental planes, taking 40% less damage for 6 seconds. So it's something to take less damage, and at the same time you're healing. So if you combine it with this, but again, that's not what I would do. I would actually, if everything is good, which it should be, you're going this way, and you're picking up this guy here, Raging Storms. A passive, Storm Fury, also increases the damage of Storm Strike by 50%, and obviously Storm Strike is one of the key contributors to your damage, so you want to buff that as much as possible. Then the next one is going to be right over here, and we're going to pick up Weapons of Elements. It's a passive, damage of Flame Tongue, Rock Biter, and Frostband increased by 10%, and this is basically taking over right now. In the few attempts that I've made, it's taking about 17% of my damage is taking into account with those 3 spells. So quite a lot of damage, and then you buff it by 10%, which cannot be bad at all. So it's all good, right? So then after that, we're going this way, and we're gonna pick up Forged in Lava. Damage of Lava Lash increased by 10%. Lava Lash was my highest damage ability total. Let me check, I'll give you the numbers here. It was accounting for 20.7% of my damage overall, 5.87 millions, and it was the hardest hitting on average was Lava Lash. So, again, a very, very good ability. You use it quite a bit. And then shortly behind is Storm Strike, which I think is going to work better and better as you gear up and all that. But again, until all that stuff is done, and also they're probably going to have, I didn't check the bonus pieces and all that stuff for the tier gear, but I'm assuming that's going to buff Storm Strike so that it goes above it, because it's fairly close, like I said. So now that we've buffed Lava Lash by 10%, we're going this way, and we're going to pick up Storm Flurry, sorry. Storm Strike has a 30% chance to deal 40% damage and extra time, and this effect can chain off of itself. And then we're gonna get this one next. So Unleash Doom. In my previous videos, like all the number 1 videos, usually I didn't know on some of those. I didn't know what to do or what was what. Now I have a better idea. Unleash Doom accounted for about 6% of my damage total, whether it was Unleash Lightning or Unleash, what's the other one? Flame, I think? Lava. So that accounted for roughly 6% of my damage, while Doom Vortex accounted for only half of that, if that. Now, the thing to remember, though, is that Unleash Doom is a single target thing, and as soon as you use Storm Strike, there's a possibility that the elements will unleash and start, like, it looks a lot like when you use a flame shock on a target, and then you would see like these little fucking icicles, or not an icicle, but like a flame little fucking thing coming out and hitting the target. It looks a little bit like that, so except it's a flame one, and then there's also a lightning one, and then they have a chance to proc both or one of each, depending on which one. But usually it procs, I think, a lot more the lightning one so far, and it hits for almost twice as much as the other one. But again, that could be also just randomness. Maybe I got lucky with certain procs or whatever. And then the Doom Vortex is an AoE move, so you hit for less, but if you have multiple targets, that could become really good. And especially in leveling, that could also be something that you might want to think about. But again, for me, I just decided, fuck it, I'm just going to go this route and pick up this one first. Does more damage overall to a single target, and then from there I'll just go and do the rest. Doom Wolves is not bad, but it's such a short duration that it becomes very situational in my mind. Like if you need to burst something real fast, and like probably Doom Wolves is good for you, but if it's a long fight, I would definitely go with this bad boy here, Unleash Doom, and then Doom Vortex. But again, Doom Wolves very situational, and again, like it counted for almost no damage throughout. So actually, this last parse that I didn't account for anything. It didn't even proc, and I used it twice. I used it, actually no, yeah, I used it twice and it didn't proc once. So maybe they need to increase the proc rate on this one. On my previous one, it did proc a few times, but again, it just was not enough damage. These two, right? Okay. So, and then from there, basically, it's up to you, really. I'm not gonna go through the rest. It's pretty simple from that point on. What you would have to do next, but again, if you do this, it should be pretty good. Also, this one is pretty good as well, but not to forget, because it's at the beginning. Might want to pick that up as well. Okay, again, thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys on the next one. Later.